Yo, 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 yo. What's up, what's up, what's up? Give up the rack. And hello to my fellow revolutionaries. You know who you are. You know who you are. And welcome to the ultimate stream of the week, the Friday stream. That's right. We made it. You made it. Ladies and gentlemen of the working classes, the working people of the world, it is now Friday and it is cause for celebration. So today we are going to be continuing this long-standing tradition that has been going on for a long time. I know who I are. Yes, I'm sure you do know who I are, or you are. And you are a revolutionary. And someone, as a revolutionary, can I just say, Jerry Poppins, and because of your contributions now to Far Right Fridays and the movement at large, you are now on a watch list. Okay, so you have been categorized by the Trump administration as someone who is anti-establishment. It doesn't matter what your actual political leanings are. You are against American values, and you will be rounded up if you ever step foot in the US of A. So I'm glad you have contributed. And as I was going to say, our long-standing tradition is Far Right Fridays, courtesy of Jerry Poppins. And that's what we're going to be delving into today. We did it, friends. We did it, friends. Hello, internet friends. It's Love Jeff in the house doing the roll call. And if you are lurking today, if you can let me know if you are just lurking, come and do the roll call so we know who is present. But if you really can't, then, fair enough. What did we do? Well, we just simply know that we have made a list somewhere. And we're probably on an ASIO list too. Speaking on behalf of all the Australians here. But we're definitely on a list somewhere in an American database, maybe a government one, maybe one that's contracted out to something like Palantir or something of that nature, because, we fit this new bill of people that are just oppositional to the current regime and need to be hunted down like terrorists, I guess you would say, homegrown or not. Radicalized, though, because of our access to American politics. I'm sure. No doubt. What else is new? Yeah, I know. It's just like everyone's just so apathetically accepting of that. Oh, right, we're on a list. Oh, yeah, fair enough. How do we know we're on a list? Is it just a hunch, or did I miss something? No, it's just a hunch. Like, after all the investigations that we've done, come on, right? Like, all the topics we cover, like, we're definitely on a list. Like, we might not be high priority, like some more than others. Jerry Poppins, let me just say that. But it's more of a hunch, I guess you would say. If we ain't on a watch list, then you're not doing it right. There it is. There's them Friday feels as people are coming in left, right, and center, doing the roll call. 4IS in the house from Twitchland. Yo. What's up? Give up your Uncle Tuck Tuck propaganda corner. Yes, we are going to be going down and getting dirty with the Uncle Tuck Tuck's greatest hits, the Far Right Fridays playlist that has been put together for us by none other than the infamous Jerry Poppins of our movement. Watch out. He's always lurking. He's somewhere right behind you, and he's producing some content that will make you question reality in a good way and a bad way. It doesn't really make a difference as long as you're questioning your existence. That's the main thing. Happy Far Right Fridays, says Rebag. It's a thing now, man. It's a thing. I saw in Dr. Nathan, you've got something lined up for the afters for Far Right Fridays, so we'll check that out too. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a solid hunch. Got Theory Thursdays, Far Right Fridays. It's good to be alive. It is. And I think someone's tagged for Militant Mondays as well. So we need to be checking out like the kind of protest movements and yeah, general militancy that's gone on potentially over the weekends and stuff like that, which is how we have actually gone for the last few weeks. I've gone out to kind of various protests over the last few weeks and then documented that on Militant Mondays. So we're getting it all here. We're planning out the week. It's looking lovely. Woozal in the house. Hi, folks. Hope you're all having a day. We definitely are having a day, and it is the ultimate day of the working week. So let us just take a moment, as we normally do, to run through some very, very special housekeeping. It is Friday, as you would know. It is the eve of the weekend, and the weekend being the most sacred time on the working week. It is a time for all of us individuals out there, all of us persons out there that exchange our labor on the labor market. That's right. We go and we work to create value in this economy. I don't care where you sit in the hierarchy. If you're out there and you are working and you are creating value, somehow you know the existence of what the working week phenomenon is, and it is Friday, the eve of the weekend, the time of the week, those two precious days that we get away from the clutches of capital and the economy, and we have a small bit of freedom. A small bit of freedom that is allocated to us. So if you do not get to celebrate your weekend because you work shift work or you have some other type of working arrangement, I simply hope that you do get compensated for those days elsewhere. You do get compensated elsewhere. Maybe you get some type of penalty rates. Maybe you get an RDO arrangement. You transfer your leave around, what have you. But it's important that we get time off and out of the clutches of capital. That's what working people fought for historically, so we could get away and just live our lives just a little bit, because the most productive part of our lives are usually in the service of making profit for someone else, directly or indirectly, whatever. But if we can get a little bit of freedom here, there, and everywhere, we will take it. So I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I hope you acknowledge this is the best day of the working week. We're as close to freedom as we are ever going to be. Now, in just saying that as well, I would like to acknowledge all working people out there, past, present, and emerging. It is on your backs, that the entirety of the modern world has been built, and on your shoulders that we stand on, and we will project into the future. And hopefully we're going to be creating a society that is more and more conducive to working people and their needs and their values, as opposed to the values of the bourgeoisie and the people that control the economy, because they really just do it for their own self-interest, which is fine. That's what any class that dominates a society would do. But it would be nice to make a society where working people, like the broad masses of us all, are the ones that actually look out and create a society that looks after their interests. After all, we are the overwhelming majority, so why the hell not? Now, in saying all of that, let's get into the theme of the day, and that will be Far Right Fridays. So let us, a worker acknowledgement segment. Yeah, I think I've been doing this workers acknowledgement to modernity for, I don't know. I know someone who's been around for long enough. We've got to be doing this now for at least 6 months, I reckon. On Fridays, obviously, in celebration of our weekend. So that's why we do it. That's why we do these things. I do have stuff lined up, propped a bit better than yesterday. Login issues messed me up there. I'm trying to make Mr. E say questionable things on the internet that I can then chop up and take out of context when he's famous enough to. Yeah, you probably already got some 6 months sounds right for us. Yeah. You probably got heaps of those. Little cuts here, then everywhere. Jerry Poppins. Just to shame me later. Be like, no, you got to watch the whole stream, man. I'm not on a list. I'm a good boy. Also, hi Azio. Dilemma's in the house. There it is. Also, perfect time to drop my first emote. There it is. Is that like a fedora with a cross through it? Very nice. Very nice. LARP. Retard Lumber says love. What an interesting name. Can you explain that one? Unless you just, dived in to the stream just to drop that and you're gone again. There's also some good new questions in Discord. Okay, I'll have a look. Worth a shot at the afters too. A worker acknowledgement statement. 6 months sounds right. All right. Let's get into it. You know who you are. If you're watching this on TikTok and you're wondering what the is going on, we are going to be watching some videos very shortly on Tucker Carlson. So if you really want to follow that and not just listen to my voice, then follow the link in the bio so you can join us. Now, I'm going to open this up. And like last time I tried to do this, like no one even voted. So I will pretend like people are paying attention and they do have an opinion on this. I will at least pretend. Do you have any kind of requests or preferences for Far Right Fridays off this list? Here's what you need to remember when debating the left. We saw that yesterday. The whole George Floyd story was a lie. We saw that one the other day. Tucker Carlson explains why the CIA rejected him. While that's funny, like I don't know if I'm not that interested. The spiritual roots of our political dysfunction. I don't know if I want to Bible bash with Tucker Carlson today, but I'll let people tell me what they think. They hate the truth. The old they. Who is they? And everybody uses it. Tucker Carlson doesn't look happy there. Man asked Tucker, how do you stay happy through hardship? Tucker Carlson on leaving Fox News, changing views. And what's next? Here's what we should demand of our leaders from the philosophy of Uncle Tuck Tuck. Tucker Carlson makes journalists look like an absolute fool, and he's doing like these ones. I wonder what that means. Alex Jones, we watched this. Alex Jones one. That was erratic, and kind of underwhelming, to be honest. Americans are being poisoned. Our leaders don't care. Ooh, there's some good conspiratorial stuff. Tuckies and Putin go head to head. That's crazy. Hey, why did Tucker Carlson quit drinking? That'll be interesting. 3 things Tucker learned about the left, and you should learn too. You know what? I wouldn't mind starting with something like that. Why you need to be fearful of the left. I think we watched him talking to Jordan Peterson as well. That was lame. So I don't know if there's any suggestions. He interviewed Putin. Yeah. 5 key moments from the Tucker interview with Putin. Let's watch that. Let's watch the 5 key moments there. Because I don't know if I can sit through him trying to talk to Putin and then Putin having to wait for it to be translated and all that sort of stuff. Even though Putin apparently can speak very good English. He pretends that he can't as his little former secret police kind of serve. Yes, the nebulous use of the left. Yeah, well, like as if I'm sure the right would have similar feelings. Like, ooh, what does the right even mean? Like, are you lumping me in with the Proud Boys or something? Roll to see what comes up. Yeah, we could do it that way as well, I guess. Might start with, I do actually want to know what he had to say with Putin. And that's the closest I've gotten to a vote of confidence on this one. So we're going to go with you, Forius. You win. Ding, 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 ding.
There are reports that Elon Musk has already had the chip.
Oh, I love the guy who's translated for Putin has a slight Russian accent as well. All right, I'll put the captions on for you so we can all have enjoy Putin.
There are reports that Elon Musk has already had a chip implanted in the human brain in the USA.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think there's no stopping Elon Musk. He will do as he sees fit. Nevertheless, you need to find some common ground with him.
Nothing's wrong with the Proud Boys. There was no judgment there. But I'm assuming not all right-wing people want to be lumped in with the Proud Boys. That's all I'm saying. So right-wing people probably get offended when you just say, ooh, the right. And I was like, well, what does the right mean? Huh? Culture war.
For ways to persuade. Less, You need to find some common ground with him, search for ways to persuade him. I think he's a smart person, I truly believe he is. So you need to reach an agreement with him because this process needs to be formalized and subjected to certain rules.
There you go. That's what Putin thinks about Elon Musk. He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants to do because he's a wild capitalist and he's inserting chips in people's brains. And even Putin thinks that there should be some standards around putting microchips in people's brains. You know, like science fiction writers from like 50 years ago would have absolutely made a meal of this type of stuff. And just like, yeah, but Elon Musk is a genius. Hey? So what if he's got a microchip that he's implanting into people's heads? And like here we are, 2025, I'm just like, yeah, he's a good guy. Okay? That whole Dodge fiasco is unfortunate, but he's a good guy. At least he's trying to put us into space. I've always wanted to see Mars firsthand. It's like fucking dystopian as fuck, all of this stuff. Even Putin's like, I don't know, man. You should negotiate with that guy, because this could get out of hand.
Subjected to certain rules.
One of our senior United States senators from the state of New York, Chuck Schumer, said yesterday, I believe, that we have to continue to fund the Ukrainian effort or U.S. soldiers, citizens could wind up fighting there. How do you assess that?
Well, if somebody has the desire to send regular troops, that would certainly bring humanity to the brink of very serious global conflict. This is obvious. Do the United States need this? What for? Thousands of miles away from your national territory. Don't you have anything better to do? You have issues on the border, issues with migration, issues with the national debt, more than $33 trillion. You have nothing better to do, so you should fight in Ukraine? Wouldn't it be better to negotiate with Russia? Make an agreement, already understanding the situation that is developing today, realizing that Russia will fight for its interests to the end?
So I just want to make sure
Can Tucker Carlson speak Russian? Because he's not actually, I can't see anything in his ear. He's just like giving the old Tucker Carlson blank look kind of thing at him. Imagine calling Tucker a traitor for interviewing Putin, but then showing the interview. Say, that logic's bulletproof, that is. Interesting. Anyone agree or disagree with Putin on that one? Why would America want to get involved in the war? It's not even near their territory. That would just escalate into World War III, baby.
I'm not misunderstanding what you're saying. I don't think that I am. I think you're saying you want a negotiated settlement to what's happening in Ukraine.
Right. And we made it. We prepared a huge document in Istanbul that was initialed by the head of the Ukrainian delegation. He affixed his signature to some of the provisions, not to all of it. He put his signature and then he himself said, we were ready to sign it and the war would have been over long ago, 18 months ago. However, Prime Minister Johnson came, talked us out of it, and we missed that chance.
Who blew up Nord Stream?
You for sure.
I was busy that day. Nate, do you have I did not blow up Nord Stream. Thank you, though.
You personally may have an alibi, but the CIA has no such alibi.
Do you have evidence that NATO or the CIA did it?
You know, I won't get into details, but people always say in such cases, look for someone who is interested. But in this case, we should not only look for someone who is interested, but also for someone who has capabilities.
I just got to ask you one last question, and that's about someone who's very famous in the United States, probably not here, Evan Gershkovich, who's the Wall Street Journal reporter.
We have done so many gestures of goodwill out of decency that I think we have run out of them. We have never seen anyone reciprocate to us in a similar manner. However, in theory, we can say that we do not rule out that we can do that if our partners take reciprocal steps. I do not rule out that the person you refer to, Mr. Gershkovitz, may return to his motherland. By the end of the day, it does not make any sense to keep him in prison in Russia. We want the U.S. Special Services to think about how they can contribute to achieving the goals our special services are pursuing. We are ready to talk. Moreover, the talks are underway. And there have been many successful examples of these talks crowned with success. Probably this is going to be crowned with success as well. But we have to come to an agreement.
Interesting. It was a bit of a nothing burger, that whole thing, wasn't it? Somebody just wanted to get in touch with Putin, and it was Tucker Carlson that did it. I think Lex Friedman wants to speak to Putin as well, right? Everyone's just lining up because, I don't know, Trump's made him relevant on the world stage, or sorry, on the American scene, I guess. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth. I don't know if they really getting anything of value out of him there. But interesting. I wanted to see more Tuckies asking the hard questions, though. It was all just Putin. Going Tuckies. All right, what are we going to look at next? All right, 3 things I learned about the left and you should learn. All right, here it comes.
So here are 3 things.
Here are 3 things, all right? Watch out. Transtifa's coming to get you. And Tucker Carlson is going to teach us why Transtifa is such a problem. And this is from the National Conservatism, the Edmund Burke Foundation, I think that's it. Yeah, I guess that's Foundation. So, this is as conservative as you get. This is in the lion's den of conservatism. Tucker Carlson speaks at the 2019 National Conservatism Conference. Very interesting. All right, let's learn about what's wrong with Transtifa. The interesting part is when Putin says presidents promise him things, but when they return, they've been told they can't do it. Interesting. So, like, when you're saying, like, he meets with a foreign president, they promise him things, but they return to their home country, and the powers that really dictate what's going on are like, no, you can't have it. Putin can't have it. Like, I think the Trump example at the moment, or the history of what's going on behind closed doors, is a story that speaks to that. Like Trump, a couple of days ago, like a week ago now, telling Zelensky that he can't have tomahawks, and he's going to have a meeting with Putin, and they're going to figure it out, and he's going to get a ceasefire. And then like 2 days later, he's like, no, we're not meeting with Putin anymore. It's just like, wow. I thought, he was going to go do the thing again that they did recently in Alaska, roll out the red carpet. And like that was over in like 2 days. Like, what's really going on in the diplomatic behind the scenes with Trump and his love for Putin? Who knows? It's a weird one. I don't think us plebeians will ever get an answer to that one. All right, let's do this. 3 things Tucker learned about the left, and you should too. He is one of the champions of the culture wars. Like, honestly, like he's got it down pat, this guy. Let's have a look what he has to say.
Things that I have learned about the left over the past couple of years, and I think they go, since this is a conference about nationalism, they might help explain the resistance to nationalism. It wouldn't seem obvious that there would be much. There's nothing inherently wrong with nationalism. In fact, it should be the default setting for a nation, right? I mean, by definition. But there are, as you well know, and if there weren't, this conference wouldn't be occurring, there are powerful forces who are opposed to it. And so the question, which is too rarely asked, is sort of why? And I'm not sure I have an answer, but here are 3 observations that might help fill in the blanks. The first and the most shocking to me is, and this is something that I've said like 30 times on my show, but every time I say it, it's like I'm bewildered that I'm saying it. The main threat to your ability to live your life as you choose does not come from the government anymore, but comes from the private sector. I can't believe I'm saying that as someone who really grew up in this city. My father worked for the government, was engaged day to day in fighting the Cold War. And maybe because of that, I was trained from the youngest age, from a pup, to believe that the threats to liberty came from government, of course, because the Soviet Union was our model. You know, the force that was clamping down was, darkening half of the world and crushing religious expression. And
is Trump in Sydney? Because it's too hot right now. It's so hot. They say it's the hottest. We're the hottest thing right now. It's Sydney right now. So hot.
The market was a government.
Internationalism, like, hello. Like, how could you be against, like, it's a precursor to nationalism, really. Sorry, it's a precursor to the nation state. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, where's he going with this? With the private sector, calling out the private sector for being evil? Because, like, what the Soviet Union used to oppress religion, suppress religion, and now it's the private sector who is suppressing religious freedom and expression, Christian values, i.e., I guess we'll see.
The force that was clamping down was, darkening half of the world and crushing religious expression, and the market was a government, the Soviet government, and all the satellites in China. And so it really took a huge amount of evidence, wagging right in my face, not being the brightest person in DC, to realize that in 2019, the threat to the things that I want to do and the things that I want to say, the threat to my conscience, to the ability to believe what I choose to believe, and that's the fundamental right, that those threats really come primarily from companies and not from the federal government. And this even now is a controversial statement. I'm sure there are libertarians already hate me. It's requited, trust me. But even non-libertarian conservatives almost can't form the words because they've been trained for so long not to believe that, but the evidence is absolutely overwhelming. And not just in sort of the small annoying ways, the fact that America's most popular cookie, the Oreo, now has, a statement of, gender politics on it. Well, I'm not joking. I would need reading glasses to read it, but apparently, since I'm 50, apparently all new Oreos have the question, what's your pronoun? So, this is the kind of story.
Is that true? Do you reckon that's true? Oh, man. Look, I just want to give you 2 minutes to double check that or where that's come from. This is so good. It's the little things, man. It's like when we found out Ayn Rand the other day, the end of her life, she existed taking benefits from the state. So good, man. Delicious. Is it true that Oreo cookies... Oh, wait. Let's get that up. Yeah, here comes Trans Tifa, bro. Watch out. Is it true that Oreo cookies in the US have a question on it saying, what is your pronoun? Has this ever occurred? Dude, she did. LOL, did she actually? Yeah, we were, I don't know, what were we watching the other day? And someone was like, oh yeah, and she ended up being on, ironically, Social Security for the last so many years of her life because she needed it. But like her justification was just like, but I paid taxes, so I should be able to extract from the system. So like anyone who's ever paid a tax should be able to take out from the system, right? That's the logic. That's the libertarian logic right there. No, there's no widely disputed US packaging of Oreo cookies that features a question like, what is your pronoun? However, there is a limited edition promotional pronoun pack in 2019. That's so good. A promotional pronoun pack. Oh, man, that is hilarious. You got to appreciate it. Oh, Tuckies. For World Pride NYC 2019 in New York City, Oreo handed out special edition pronoun packs with packaging labeled she/her, he/him, and they and them. In the campaign, Oreo tweeted, "We're proud to celebrate inclusivity for all gender identities and expressions in partnership with NCTE. We're giving away special edition pronoun packs and encouraging everybody to share their pronouns with pride today and every day." There is no indication that Oreo standard US states retail packaging included a question, what is your pronoun, printed on it. Oh, man, that's not as good as how he made it out to me. My pronouns or EO. Man, this is funny as. He made it sound like it was across the board. That's less dramatic. Come on, man. Still funny though.
Gender politics on it. Well, I'm not joking.
No, that's
ways. And not just in
They take away gollywogs and give us this trash. Tuckies has a point here. That's hilarious. I think I used to eat gollywogs when I was a kid. Obviously not. We had no idea what we were eating. It's like a dark biscuit, really. Have they actually taken them away? You can't buy them anymore. That's funny, isn't it? There you go. Tuckies has a point.
Sort of the small annoying ways. The fact that America's most popular cookie, the Oreo, now has, a statement of, gender politics on it. Well, I'm not joking. I would need reading glasses to read it, but apparently, since I'm 50, apparently all new Oreos have the question, what's your pronoun?
All new Oreos.
So, this is the kind of story that cable news thrives on. It'll be like, oh, that's so annoying. They're so crazy. Take 3 steps back. What's actually happening? A large American company is committing a pretty brazen act of propaganda aimed at your kids.
I think it's aimed at people at a pride rally. This is hilarious. Oh my God. This Oreo stuff was in Australia too. The queer community in Sydney shat all over it, remembering seeing someone good drag acts about it. I can't remember this at all. The cuck soy writing makes it taste worse.
And the message is that the binary gender scheme, which we were taught in biology class in 7th grade, is no longer operative. This is basically a kind of profound statement against nature.
Man, who called the trans Tifa thing? Here comes trans Tifa. You called it, Remag. We're going on a trans Tifa run here. Everyone strap yourself in. Trans Tifa's under attack. They've renamed them for a while, but the damage was done, and they were discontinued pretty quickly. Please explain gollywogs for the international audience. Well, I wonder if the gollywogs actually... I won't even explain it. I'll just show you a picture of it. I wonder if I can find it. They were Arnott's biscuits, right? Oh, no, they're not Arnott's. I thought they were Arnott's. Yeah, they were. Oh, they were. Wait, I'm confused. Yes, it was an Arnott's biscuit. Okay, so this is a gollywog. And these were I don't know, children's play toys from I don't know, Gen X and Boomer generations, I guess. I didn't have gollywog toys, but I remember eating gollywog biscuits at school and stuff like that. They sold them at school. And they were just a chocolate biscuit in the shape of a doll called a gollywog. And obviously this is extremely offensive. And so they had to take this away, I guess you would say. Yeah, look, you could buy them. That's a new packaging as well. So you could buy them back in the day. Yes, Tucker, they simplified science in high school. Wow, science evolves with time. Who would have thought? Yeah, that's if you're wondering what me and Jerry Poppins are talking about, here it is. So your call, Jerry Poppins, is they took away gollywogs and gave us pronoun questioning Oreos. Yes, what a world we live in. Jerry Poppins. I mean, we still have Redskins, and there's no way that's not racist, a racist inference. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Didn't they change like American football teams as well, in like to get rid of names of things like Redskins and stuff like that? Australian thrift stores are like T minus 30 seconds till you find something racist. Blue Mountains are filled with gollywog toys. That's hilarious. Yeah, well, like that was the generational thing. One of the many ways that racism has been indoctrinated into us. There you go. My sister had a gollywog doll when we were kids. Oh, there you go. There you go. They are called Red Rippers. Now they changed the name. Ah, interesting. Okay. All right, so you guys, no, not Jet B, Jungle Potatoes remake, you guys are talking about what Tucky's was just saying about the science thing. Redskins are the commanders and the Indians are the guardians now. Okay. And I'm assuming that was pretty controversial, like for someone like Tucky's then, like if he's worried about Oreos being like gendered and like bringing up people's pronouns and stuff, he must be pretty upset about the commanders and the guardians, I guess. Must be really upset about that sort of stuff.
And a profound statement against nature. And you have to kind of ask yourself, like, is the federal government doing
Very controversial.
that? No. Mondelez is doing that. Oreo is doing that. Multiply that times every Fortune 500 company in America, 500, and you have the state of play. The coercive, okay, so to which libertarians will say, well, I mean, yeah, if you don't like it, start your own Oreo company. Okay? I guess. And we can argue, or, go Nilla wafer or whatever. There's no sort of way to imprint messages on a Nilla wafer. Get it? Okay? But that's not really an operative option in a world of monopoly power.
Savage, bro. Coon cheese is next. Surprised they've lasted this long, to be honest. Coon is, I'm assuming, must be someone's name. That's why. You can explain that one. I'm not fucking explaining that one, Jerry. You're going to get me in trouble again. What do you mean coon cheese is... Coon cheese is long gone. It's cheer now. Oh, there you go, Jerry. There you go. I didn't know that. I thought coon cheese still existed. Why the laughs? Oh, do you know what we're talking about? Like, Coon is someone's name. I thought it was someone's name, but like Coon is a very derogatory name for an Aboriginal person. Like, really, like, yeah, it's a derogatory name. I'm pretty sure it is, unless I've missed the reference completely. I just assumed it was someone's name. They changed it to cheer cheese. I had no idea. There you go. So this is the phenomenon that Tucker Carlson is talking about, right? Like they're renaming everything. It's called cheer cheese now. There you go, Jerry Poppins. Very outdated reference there, apparently. They should change the name of crackers. I feel targeted when I eat soup. That's fucking hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh my God. Oh, I know how. Referring to the crowd. Oh, yeah, the crowd laughing. I think he was just because, yeah, why would they be laughing at him cutting up libertarians? That's fucking hilarious. That's so good, the crackers one. I feel targeted when I eat soup. I mean, the queer community hates rainbow washing too. It was a nightmare when companies would pay for pyrotechnics when Mardi Gras was in the stadium instead of the street. Isn't that interesting, hey? Companies rainbow washing. That's what they do. Like, I remember having this discussion with someone ages ago about this, like, Apple rainbow washing. I didn't know that was the term, but I can use that now. And, like, they'll just go back and forth as to whatever's profitable. And when it swings back and you have a Trump regime in and they're targeting DEI and wokeism and all that sort of stuff, they'll get rid of all of that stuff if it hurts their profit margins. They just go with whatever they think gives them the best PR. It's really about PR. That's what this is really all about. No one knows because it's the worst cheese, so no one ever buys it. I know. Um, oh, it is a great slur, says Dilemmas. Yeah. Few years now, unfortunately, it has been the best joke in primary school. Well, I am, besides myself, I feel demoralized every time I go to the bakery. I switch to whole grain just to avoid that situation. Oh man, no more master bedrooms anymore. No more master slave cylinders. That's hilarious. No more master bedrooms. Man. So this type of conversation, this is the culture wars. And so like everyone can take stabs at the culture wars because they do get ridiculous. Look at this. You'd have small community organizations with no flair, then a crazy amount of shit for Woolworths and TikTok. And it's like, thank fuck, do you do for the community? Oh, what the fuck do you do for the community outside of this? Yeah, I know, right? Ollie Atlas here. Thanks for doing the roll call. It's good to have you. We're watching, we're going down the right wing pipeline again for Far Right Fridays. We're watching Tucker Carlson, and he seems to be dismantling like this idea that corporations have gone woke and they're changing all of their branding and all this sort of stuff. So, well, yeah, we're just trying to make sense of all of that. Yeah, and people are having some fun in the chat, I think, with this stuff.
And I know that I think Arthur Millick is speaking later on this, maybe Oren Cash, but probably a bunch of people are going to address this in much deeper detail and much more capably than I'm going to now. But let me just say, you can't create your own Google. And if you have a company, and we do, through which all human information in English flows, through a choke point that we can't control, there's no democratic way of controlling.
Is he advocating for socialism? Did you hear that? Did you just hear that? He just said, there is a giant corporation out there that owns the means of production on a significant scale in a surveillance capitalist landscape, and they don't have democratic control. And so I can't create my own Google. No one can. How many Googles can you have? There's just too much information out there. It's an economy of scale. What's the only solution to that? Let me tell you this much for free, ladies and gentlemen. It's democratizing that workplace. Democratize Google. Maybe that's not even democratizing the workplace that is Google. Maybe it's just talking about nationalizing Google, and then we can have some type of control over it because it'll be a governmental run agency. This is incredible stuff, what he's talking about here. I like where we are going with this. I'm loving this, actually. Have you seen Cumtown's Tucker Carlson impression? No, I haven't. Are you in Discord? I'm going to put the invite for Discord there because I would like you to add that to the propaganda machine that is Discord. Daniel G, please. Let me just get the invite out. Let me just whip this invite out. It's been a while since I've done some shameless plugging. Might as well. Yeah, if you can share that, wherever you got that from, I'd like to see impersonations of Tucker. Because he has some funny like mannerisms and stuff like that. Why not? I posted it in the reaction channel. Nick Mullen's impression is so good. Oh, you have posted this already. Okay, good. All right, it's in there. All right. Anything named Cumtown is probably good. All these transnational corporations with their woke agendas. Damn, where's Ninja Nurse? Any chance we can get transnational corporations. No more king size Snickers. It's like the patriarchy laughing at incels with every bite. The Edmund Burke Foundation is an Israeli-funded think tank. There you go. Forwarded you the clip. Thank you. Thank you very much. I might have watched that. Just remind me, I might watch that after this. We're setting you up with a bit for next week. Yeah. All right, let's let him finish. He's giving us too much material now.
You have the potential. Well, first of all, you have more power vested in a smaller number of hands than at any time in American history, A. And that itself is ominous and should make all of us, like, cast aside any kind of ideology or...
Oh, we're setting you up with a bot for next week. Right. Got it. Because I plug the old school way, cutting and pasting. Eh?
At any time in American history, A. And that itself is ominous and should make all of us, like, cast aside any kind of ideology or theology or whatever. Just look at that straight in the face. Are you comfortable with that? You shouldn't be. Of course you're not comfortable with it. It's terrifying. Let's stop lying to ourselves. It's awful, all right? And that's where we are. But think through for 5 minutes the potential risks, the threats from that, and they're really obvious. It's like they could make whole ideas disappear. And in fact, there's some evidence that they're working to do that. And as Orwell noted, once you take away the words, you take away people's ability to think about the concepts, right? You can't have an idea if you don't have the words to express it. And so the person in charge of the words really has the power.
Solar Bear in the house. Nearly lunchtime. Sup, peeps? I mean, if it's on a timer, then you don't even have to take yourself out of the zone to plug. That's good. That's a good point. Let's do it on a timer. You should put the Discord link as pinned, the pinned comment in YouTube chat.
Over your mind.
I could do that.
And they do. And the pushback from our elected officials has been basically zero. Now, I'm not going to go on a long Jeremiah about why. I think you know why. Because they're corrupt. Literally, the antitrust think tank in Washington takes money from Google.
What?
No, I'm not.
Is that true?
And
That's
it has
fucked.
a name, something like, it's a very literal name. It's like antitrust think tank.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I hope he's right about that one. Because like Google are going through antitrust proceedings at the moment. And they were going to take the Google browser off them because they were too powerful. Guess what? They fucking reneged on that. Like, the antitrust stuff is so significant, especially in a techno-feudalist sense. Meta has been through like the dash, like they were going to take like WhatsApp off them and get them to break down, but like I think they're reneging on that. Google like was going to be smashed up and like they've let Google go, and all these people, you know, all kissing the ring of Trump, all at his inauguration, all backing him. I wonder if that's true. Is there an antitrust think tank in the US that Google provides funding or donations to? Oh my God. Yes, there are think tanks or academic centers with Google LLC. Or its parent Alphabet has provided fundings which engage in antitrust competitions or big tech policy work. New American Foundation, New America, Google, and related Schmidt, has donated significant sums. Global Antitrust Institute via the George Mason University Foundation. Google has disclosed that donations to the George Mason University Foundation Center, which supports the Global Antitrust Institute, International Center for Law and Economics, is referenced as having received funding from Google and is involved in competition and antitrust policy research. Damn, Takis, bro. It's not as crazy as the Oreo allegation, is it? Damn. This is mental. Anyone ever short shifted a tranny so you can blow it faster? I don't even know what short shifted means. I'm not sure if I even want to ask for an explanation of that either. He doesn't even know what he's saying. That's the funny part. You guys. Seriously. Oh my God. If you want to make 4ASMs a mod so he can pin comments and approve censored comments too. Mods can use high-level commands in your bot. We'll set it up. Yeah, okay. I'll have a chat. I'll have a chat. Yeah, please explain. Thanks, Jerry. Bye.
And if you go through their list of donors, yeah, Google's on there. So that doesn't seem to bother anyone on the left. Well, why? Because they're benefiting from J.D. Vance, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. I'm so nearsighted that people loom out of the darkness at me. That doesn't bother anyone on the left, of course, because these are the shock troops for their politics, of course, because they're in alliance with the progressive left. It should bother people on the right, but it doesn't, because again, they're...
Like, do you really think that Google aligns with people on the left? I'm pretty sure, like, lefties who are generally kind of cautious of corporations, like liberals probably not, but like lefties more generally, I guess, to be cautious with like large multinational corporations and how evil they are. Like, do you really think that like Google aligns with the values of like lefties? I guess this just shows how culture war this is. It doesn't even have to make sense, really. It's just culture war rhetoric.
Alliance with the progressive left.
The progressive left.
It should bother people on the right, but it doesn't, because again, their minds are captive to an antiquated way of looking at the world, the build your own Google way. So I just think, again, this is something that I could go on about to the point where you'd ask me to stop, but I would stop on this point. Ponder this. Retrain your mind to acknowledge the things that are right in front of you, that are obvious. It's one of the upsides, there are many downsides, I will say, to Trump, but one of the upsides is the Trump election was so shocking, so unlikely. So we elected Donald Trump.
Oh, the Atlas, the lib left, for the most part, doesn't care about corporations and views them as friends as long as they preach their values. However, obviously insincere they are. Right. That makes a lot more sense, I guess. The lib left. And yeah, they would ally with corporations as long as they help them with their political correctness tirades, I guess you would say. Surprised that last comment of mine got a CC. I think I can see. Surprised it got a CC? What? Because you said Google has aligned with the cultural left in recent years. That didn't get through to past Google? Yeah, of course it wouldn't have. You can't trash talk Google, bro. Use something else. God damn, I hate the sound of his nasally, preppy boy voice. It is a little bit like that, isn't it? You love it. Not everyone's a fucking radio host, all right? Maybe not align with them, but they are aware that of what they are doing behind the scenes. Goggle probably blocks anything with Google in it. You're not wrong. You didn't get through with that one. Jungle potatoes. Oh no, did you? No, you did get through with that one. Okay, fair enough. I guess not. It's just Jerry. He's on a list. You're not on the list yet, Jungle potatoes. You have to say some more outrageous stuff.
President, huh? Besides is, the Trump election was so shocking, so unlikely. So we elected Donald Trump president, huh? We all pretend, oh, of course we did. Yeah, okay, yeah. It was so shocking that it did cause some significant percentage of people to say, wait a second, if that can happen, like, what else is true? In other words, like, if the Loch Ness Monster is real, what about the Yeti? I'm serious. Weirdly, the Trump election spurred in me a kind of reassessment of UFOs. We've done a consistent series. No, I'm not. I'm serious. And it turns out, like, they're real. It had never occurred to me. I spent my entire life making fun of people who had unauthorized thoughts. I thought I was a free thinker. You know, as all, young people flatter themselves. Of course, almost all fascists are under 30, in case you haven't noticed. As especially true in the press corps. And they think of themselves as really sort of the cutting edge. I'm radical. And that's why if you think something you're not allowed to think, I'll punch you in the face. Right. Well, all young people, the truth is, are a kind of variety of that, including me. And the beauty of Trump was, Once he showed up, you're like, huh, okay. Well, so this happened, I guess I can think whatever I want. So maybe it's time to traipse up to the mental attic and see what's in storage. And what I realized was there was all this junk up there, moldering, that I'd assumed was still sort of fresh and bright and worth keeping. You really accumulate all kinds of ideas, most of which aren't actually ideas, they're just tics. And you don't realize that you have them. And Trump really, and it wasn't, of course, just me, but it was a lot of people, almost all of them were in this room, actually, who went up there and they're like, huh, is it still true? And so what I encourage myself to do every single day, this is one thing I am faithful about, is I really encourage myself to just try to look clearly, like what is actually happening? I mean,
do you believe him when he says stuff like this? Like, he's a really good speaker because he's engaging. Like he's entertaining. So you do hang on his words because of that delivery that he's got. And he adds a bit of humor and takes you on an emotional roller coaster and stuff like that. But that point there where he's just like, I say to myself every day, like, let's just think about this. Like, do you reckon he believes that? Like, maybe he does see the world the way, and like he thinks like very objectively and whatever's in front of him, and doesn't have an agenda and doesn't realize that he's, doing whatever he does in the culture wars as a little culture warrior king. But like, I can't help but think that like you're getting an insight there into how low his actual transparency is. And he is just like, he's got a lot of rhetoric going on. He's got a lot of rhetoric, strong rhetoric, but he's got a lot of rhetoric going on there. Annoying people are entertaining in very small doses. He's distancing himself from Trump because he has aspirations. Interesting. Now, just like in that like little shot there where he says, I say to myself every day, I should think about what's in front of me and like not get caught up in ideological warfare. I don't know if I can trust him on that one. He seems like he is a champion of a very particular type of ideological warfare, but like he's just saying like, look, I try to be detached from everything so I can be as objective as not. Of course not. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Google eats trans teeth of Fanny. Did you get that through? Oh my God, you got that through. Wow, the censor. LOL, it got through. And as long as the corporations preach lib-left values in advertisements and on social media, even though it's obvious that they don't care. Yeah. Conflating liberals with leftists is useful for him. Yes, I think it is useful just generally. Because then you can just brandish everyone that has any type of progressive ideal as like, evil wokies. Eh? Wokies are the worst. Like, like generally very distasteful, a lot of like the over-the-top wokey stuff. But like now anyone can like, who has a progressive mind about anything, and doesn't want to regress, can be considered, can be considered a wokie and then bagged as crazy now in the Trump 2.0 era. Conflating liberals with leftists is useful for him. Thank you, Trump. Now we can think again, but not about domestic and foreign policy. Think about trans Tifa. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. The right either accuses liberals and leftists of being communists because they don't know what that is, or accuse leftists of being liberal because they don't know and they don't care. It's interesting that you say that, because there was a guy that was getting pretty animated when I was at the March for Australia protest the other day, and someone called out communists. I don't know, on the government, maybe on Albo or something like that, and like this person was just like, fuck communists. Like, it was really aggressive. And I talked to him after, and he seemed like a very level kind of dude, but he was like in such a frenzy when someone mentioned the name communist. And he was like, death to communists and all this sort of stuff. And so I asked him at the end, that's why he was the last interview, actually. And I was like, what is communism? Because I saw you get really upset when someone said socialism and communism. And I think it was pretty much just all he could describe was like when the government overreach, basically. So yeah, it's funny that liberals and leftists can be considered communists when it's appealing. Like, how many times have you heard Trump refer to someone as a communist to kind of disparage that person and offend that person? Like what's happening right now with Memdani and stuff like that. It's like, the war's on and he's an evil communist, so don't vote for him. I was watching a video by Hassan that went over this topic somewhat from the other side's perspective. The accusation strategy is a Cold War classic for right-wing propagandists. Hey, you are spitting the truth bombs today, Ollie Atlas.
The forces of lying have definitely increased. They've gotten louder anyway. It's like everyone's lying. It's all propaganda. So disregard all of it. Put your earphones on to white noise and just look around. And who are the good guys and who are the bad guys? I'm serious. And a lot of the people we've been told are good guys are not at all. Actually, some of them are the worst guys. I'll let you figure out who. Sorry, I got carried away. Okay, so that's the first observation. The second observation.
Calling Memdani a communist is giving him too much credit. Yeah, I feel you, dog. I know what you mean by that. Okay? A lot of people get called communists, and it's like, come on, man. And that's why I asked those people, I was like, what do you think is socialist or evil communist? Because like, if there are socialists that have taken power in Australia, I would like you to introduce them to me because I've got questions. But like, yeah, it's just a dog whistle, I guess. Just an insult that's not truly that insulting. Yeah, because there's no need to argue against communism because it's a socially assumed no position. Yeah, the Albo has to go. Chance are dumb. Who are you going to replace him with? Susan Lane? Hey, Richard? Have fun on that sinking ship. Finally, time for Pauline to shine. Yeah, that guy with the mutton chops. He couldn't tell me. I was like, do you think Pauline would be a good prime minister then? And he's just like, no. Because like the institutions won't let her do her work. And I was like, fair enough. She's set up to fail. If he says, I'm serious, one more time. See how he actually skips over how the left are bad guys? Yeah, it's an interesting point. Actually, hearing your last comment, I think you should follow up with that video next. Because I think you'll be surprised how much you might agree with Hassan's take on leftist infighting and the culture wars. Yeah, look, we've got some champions of the anti-culture wars going. Good. Someone with his fucking clout should be doing that service to the working class. Is this the thing that you said that you put in for the afters? Is that what you're talking about?
I would make is that, and I'll be short with this, but it's another one of my obsessions, is that it's all a kind of Freudian projection. Like whatever they say you're doing is precisely what they're doing. And again, because I'm not a super genius, it took a long time to figure this out. And I really think Antifa was maybe the moment where I figured it out.
You said Antifa?
It's the guys who are literally armed with steel bars and have black masks on are calling other people fascist. And I'm like, so of course you go immediately to the cliche, that's Orwellian. No, actually it's Freudian. It really is. The things I fear about myself, I transfer onto you. And once you understand that, it really is the Rosetta Stone for their behavior, amazingly. It's true for virtually everything. And if you're me, specifically me, the most bewildering of all is you're a racist. You're a racist, which it's like, I wake up, I open my door to get the paper. You're a racist. And I guess at this point, I probably just admit it. But I actually not. And I make the opposite. I make an affirmative case against racism.
He almost did it. I thought he was going to be like, all right, fine then. I'm a racist. Remember when they were chasing that neo-Nazi around the streets of Sydney after the first March for Australia? And they're like, say it. Say you're a racist. And he's like, yeah, I'm a racist. I don't give a shit. I thought Tucker Carlson was going to do it. Damn, that would have been great. Who has the masks on? Tucker. He's literally demonstrating his theory. Tucker is projecting.
I'm like all the time on my show. or for less race consciousness anyway. It's such a boring subject. It's such a dead end. It can't be fixed. It can't be changed.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, Oliolis. Antifa isn't purely anti-fascist. They are better described as anti-re or anti-right, since that's their deal. Yeah, it's interesting. Because like people can make the case that that's the right that devolves into fascism, so you got to stop it at its source, and that's why they're anti-racist, generally, as opposed to just being anti-fascist, because that type of stuff devolves into fascism. It's very interesting. How old is this clip? It's from 2019. It's the 2019 National Conservatism Conference. Eh? Why are you suggesting that it's aged well? 2019 was a good vintage. I know what you're thinking.
No, it can't be fixed. It can't be changed. No, I'm serious. So it's not even that interesting.
I'm serious, you said it again.
It's not interesting to me anyway. It's not the America that I grew up in. I'm not being self-righteous about it. I'm not saying I'm above nothing. Trust me. One of the things you realize as you age is that you really are pretty loathsome. You know? As my father, this is vulgar, excuse me, my father, who was a genuinely wise man, I had dinner with him last night. He always used to say, when we were little, I mean like third grade, my brother, Amit, always say, boys, the root of all wisdom is knowing what an asshole you are. Gee, Pop! He would always say that. And it was only in middle age that I realized totally how true that was. So I'm not in any case, I'm not getting up and be like, I'm really not a racist. Okay, please spare me. What I'm just saying is it's amazing that the people who are so focused on the subject of race are the ones who are denouncing everyone else as racist. And then you realize it's not amazing, because it's true of literally everything they say. Because it's not actually a matter of trying to convince you of their program. It really is a very specific and recognizable psychological syndrome, right? I remember the day that Bill Kristol, of all people, called me a racist, and I was like, really? Bill Kristol? And I was, oh, of course. Of course. It fits. Anyway, so just keep that in mind. And then I guess the last point I would make, which is worth brooding about, is that, and I don't want to believe this, and by the way, I hope I'm wrong, and perhaps I am. But from where I stand right now, it seems pretty clear to me that they're not interested in peaceful coexistence. And by temperament,
but they were starting this rhetoric back then. Oh my God. They were starting this rhetoric back then. Like, this is the war rhetoric. Like, they don't want to be like, after saying all of that sort of stuff, like these people are projecting racism or focusing on racism because they're really racist. And like Trump has made us all see the light so we can all think for ourselves now. And like I guess he started with the trans-Tifa argument that like, you know, Antifa are the real fascists, and then like the left has no understanding of reality when it comes to things because of like gender politics, gender issues, and the corporations have been embroiled in that. And so now here it is. Here's the war on everything conversation that's coming. There is no negotiating with these people. They are your enemy. And this is where he really is a culture warrior, and like, you know, one of the head chiefs of the culture warrior, of the culture war, really, out there. People rallied behind this man to tell them what to think on certain issues. Like, they can't think for themselves, as he, you know, has explicitly said. Like, you just got to think for yourself, kind of, you know, take a moment every day to just try and see what's in front of you, and then you can see who's really evil and who's not. But like, people rally behind him to understand what to think in the culture wars, because it's not easy. The culture wars are about just taking a side blindly, as opposed to what he's, you know, ostensibly advocating for before, which is critical thinking in the face of evil corporate takeover. But like, here it comes.
I just reject that. And right now, it seems pretty clear to me that they're not interested in peaceful coexistence.
They're not peaceful.
And by temperament, you know, I just reject that. I really am liberal. I am I'm literally an Episcopalian. Still practicing, amazingly. But I am liberal by temperament. It would never occur to me to choose my friends by their political beliefs. It would just never occur to me, ever. Nor would it ever occur to me to try to control someone. As much as I despise libertarians, and I really, really do, I mean that. I also kind of am one. I mean, I am functionally in a lot of ways libertarian. I'm just not that interested in other people doing their weird thing. Go crazy. It's just how I feel. I probably shouldn't feel that way, but I do. They don't feel that way. They don't.
They're not peaceful.
So if you were, and someday I'm going to do this if I have time. It'd be interesting to go down to like the most remote county in Alabama and interview just a cross-section of people at the Hardys, just 25 people, and ask them what they think of the personal sexual practices of the residents of Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and B, how often they think of it. How much of your disk space does this occupy? How many hours a week, estimated, do you spend seething about what they're doing in the sack? 1,500 miles from here. And I'm pretty sure you would find right around 0 people would even understand the question. It just wouldn't compute. Brooklyn, huh? I don't know. Probably something weird, right? Yep, something weird, for sure. All right. That's in New York City, right? Yep, well, there you go. Would you like to pass a law to prevent them from doing that weird stuff? Huh? Who are you anyway? No. And I mean all of them elders at the local Antioch Baptist Church. I mean, evangelicals, 100%. And they would tell you no. And then, of course, you know the second half. Go to Williamsburg. And what do you think of the people of, Dothan County, Alabama? You know that over 50% of them are against gay marriage? What? I was just thinking about that this morning. We should kill them. They lay awake at night thinking that somewhere in this country there is somebody who's not.
He didn't even get the right neighborhood. Bushwick is where the weirdos are now. Interesting. Okay. So this is an outdated commentary that he's got going on there. Is that right? How can you take anyone seriously with that voice? All right. Where you've started, Mark. People can't get his voice out of their mind now. It's detracting from what he's saying. So his argument was that you go to some rural community and ask them what they think about the sexual activities of people in some cosmopolitan orgy center, and they'll be like, I don't want to think about it. And then so now you go to said cosmopolitan orgy capital and then ask them what they think about people that live regionally and their thoughts on homosexuality, and they will have an opinion on whether or not those people have thoughts about constraining people's sexuality, not about their personal sexuality, but about their ideas on constraining other people's sexuality, and that will upset them. I think those are two different things. Like, if he went to the Cosmopolitan Orgy Center and was just like, what do you think about, like, how two conservative Christians get it on? And, like, they think about Mother England when they're procreating or something like that, they probably would be like, I don't know, that's up to them. It seems a bit weird that, like, you could only kind of have sex with one person for the rest of your life. We live in a cosmopolitan orgy center, so, like, but whatever. But, like, they're not directly analogous. And so, like, I know what he's getting at. Like, he's saying that these people in the cosmopolitan orgy center really do care about everybody having sexual liberation because they're from a cosmopolitan orgy center, and the other ones just don't want to think about what's going on in the orgy center at all. But, like, I don't know if they're akin in terms of his analysis there. Like, I don't know, man. I think it's weak. It's weak. I'm a bit surprised at that, to be honest. I'm a bit surprised at that one. OP, RIP. Fast forward 6 years from 2019, the war metric is now the polarity of technological endorsement and Bible thumping. Phil, hey, bring it home. You can cuck the tuck, but the tuck can cuck the stream. You can't cuck the tuck, but the tuck can cuck the stream. You can have too much tuckies. Stream dead. Tuck strikes bad. Nah, he'll be back. It happened last week. And you're back. See, yeah. Look, his analysis is out on a limb here, I would just say.
Fully on board with the program. And by on board with the program, I don't just mean is disobeying. I don't mean a county clerk is refusing to sign a marriage certificate. You know, that's a real argument. I get it. No matter what side.
Aussie Welder's back. G'day. How you going? We are going down the right-wing pipeline today, and we are getting lessons from none other than one of the chiefs of the culture wars, Tucker Carlson. So strap yourself in. It's been interesting so far.
No, is disobeying. I don't mean a county clerk is refusing to sign a marriage certificate. You know, that's a real argument. I get it. No matter what side you're on. No.
Do you know your stream was down? No. I can't monitor it from that end. It looks like it's okay here. Like, are you talking about on YouTube? No, I didn't know that, actually. Thanks for letting me know. I'm good, thanks, mate. Welcome back. Is it, like, back and running now? Like, it looks all fine from my monitoring. Streaming violation? Really? Is it back on? Because I can't actually see anything. Oh, I'm watching too much. It's only for a minute. Interesting. That was interesting. I wonder what happened. This is what happened last time as well. Last time we were doing Far Right Fridays. I think this happened as well. Too much Tucky. Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. I guess it's all from his channel, though. That's why. Yeah. Maybe that's why. I might have to get one that's not from his channel next. And pick a different source just to mix it up a little bit. But it's too good. Like, this one has been delicious. So much stuff to talk about.
They mean someone who, in his heart secretly, is traipsing down to the basement after dinner and communicating by shortwave with someone else who disagrees. And that's unacceptable. And we're gonna root that person out, and we're gonna fix that person. In fact, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna re-educate that person. Yes, these impulses are universal. Yes, they are. There's a reason that happened. Because this is an evangelical faith, is what I'm saying. The progressive faith is an evangelical faith. It's a proselytizing faith. And that's exactly what it is. And of course, and you know why. I can see there are religious people in this. Of course you know why. Because you can't, you can remove religion, but you can't remove the religious impulse. Because it's inborn. It's innate. It can't be taken out. So it'll just be redirected to something even. Do you think the resurrection's implausible? Let me tell you about woke politics. Not only is it way more destructive, it's like 100% dumber, okay? But that's what it is. It's just a replacement, obviously. But we should keep that in mind. And by we, I'm not even sure who I'm talking about. I don't know, and I hope if this conference accomplishes anything, it's to explain what it means to be conservative or nationalist. I don't even know, I've lost track. But whatever they're for, I'm against that. That's kind of how I'm thinking of it right now. I'm absolutely against that. And I'm also, and I'll stop with this, I'm also prone, and I bet many of you are the same, I'm prone to lie to myself about it. And I just want to be absolutely clear, because I know there's a TV camera there. I want to be really clear. I'm still for living with people I disagree with. I will always be for that. I will always be for pluralism. I will always be for intellectual diversity, always. I'll always be happy to have dinner with someone who doesn't share my views. My only point is, and that will never change, I will not allow that to change, because I think you become something less than you should be.
But what? But what? So woke is a religion for the godless. I think that's what he's saying. Yeah, like everyone is religious, but like some people like ascribe to a certain type of religions, a sect or something like that. It's innately human to think spiritually, and yes, some people subscribe to an institutionalized or organization that gives them their religious direction and compass, but other people just look for ideology and treat that ideology in a religious fashion, and they are just as faith-based, dogmatic, and potentially even militant with their ideology and their faith in their ideology as anyone who actually subscribes to an official religion that would also be dogmatic and want to potentially impose themselves on other people that don't agree with them or see the world through their particular lens. So yeah, he's made that argument before, to be honest. Oh, it's down again. See, I don't know why it's not coming up on my end as showing that. The stream was temporarily blocked because we detected a video belonging to... Is it still blocked? Because like it's looking like it's okay on my end. I guess gotta be careful. Stream unavailable. It's down again. Twice in one vid. That's unfortunate. I wonder if I change it up from the source. Reverse that. What if religion is woke for the faithful? Interesting. Might change the source and see if that changes.
What was it that got you sober?
But it was booze. That is what...
Hit that Come Town video for some lulls. Yeah, I would like to, but I would also like this temporary restriction taken off too. Oh man, it's still like that. Bastard.
Path's AI-powered location intelligence.
Right, is this the one that you forwarded to me? Let's see if that changes the restriction. Come Town Archive. Now, if I start playing this, I'm hoping that will lift the restriction. I'm hoping. I wonder what it is exactly. It's temporary blocks. We detected a video belonging to someone else. If you plan to continue, please ensure that the content owner has added your channel to their allow list. Okay, I do plan on continuing. Hello, live view hasn't dropped and he's not even streaming anything. Solid fans here. Yeah, I know, right? Hey, can you hear me though? Yeah, people are still just still there. Thank you. I'm gonna figure this out. That's interesting. No audio or video on YouTube. No audio, no video. Ah, that sucks. This is why I ain't streaming on YouTube. Yeah, it's hard. I get it. I'm going to put the Twitch handle there. Wrong chat? Oh, I'm just putting it on like the thing so everyone can see it. Yeah, it shows on both, I'm pretty sure. God, I hope it does. Man, that sucks. How dare they invade far right? For see, like this is the type of stuff that like Tucker Carlson is arguing about. These corporations are coming in and they're shutting down people that are trying to watch right-wing content, conservative thinkers. That's outrageous. And we're on. Damn. Come to Twitch, YouTube frogs. Is it still down? I don't know if I can restart the stream somewhere. It says temporarily blocked. I wonder if I can do a separate one. All right. I'm going to play this, so at least you guys have got something to watch, and I'm going to try and figure out YouTube in the background. Good luck, people of Twitch, of the Twitch files. Good luck. Enjoy the entertainment. I'm going to figure out YouTube.
And guess what?
What is going on? Tucker? What is happening?
I used to be straight.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hate looking at guys' cocks.
Having sex with women used to feel good. Doesn't anymore.
That's fucking hilarious.
It feels kind of bad these days. What is going on?
What's going on?
When did it suddenly become better to fuck guys?
Which it is.
Yeah.
Which I love to do.
And if you're having sex with a guy today, there's going to be a lot more of that tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
Tucker asked the hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
A little,
what am I
taking
doing
it a little
that's
too
wrong?
far. The headphones over. You're wearing a hoodie, and you put your headphones over it.
Men used to wear their headphones normally. Not anymore. Now they act like fags.
Now they're gay.
Now they're gay.
I'm kind of trying to do more of an 8 Mile
And the Democratic
style.
Party wants this.
Also, it's not that cold in here.
California used to be filled with raisins. Now it's filled with garbage.
It's dirty.
Garbage that I can't stop putting up my ass.
I think somebody
This is
clean it up.
hilarious. What is this?
Maybe I can shove it in my ass.
Oh man, dude, I love being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It will